Some people don't struggle with trust because they're cold or emotionless. In fact, many of the most guarded people were once the ones who loved the deepest, trusted the hardest, and stayed loyal the longest. But after enough disappointment, something changes. You stop relaxing around people. You start analyzing everything. You build emotional walls without even realizing it. And eventually, protecting yourself starts feeling safer than connection itself. This is the psychology of people who trust no one.
The safer you become, the more isolated you feel internally. At first, emotional walls feel powerful. You stop oversharing. You stop depending on people too much. You become harder to manipulate, harder to disappoint. And for a while, it feels like growth. Because pain decreases when nobody gets close enough to hurt you. But there's a hidden cost to this kind of self-protection that most people don't notice immediately. The safer you become emotionally, the more isolated you often feel internally. Because human connection requires openness. Not complete openness with everyone, but enough vulnerability for another person to truly know you. And when every interaction is filtered through caution, relationships can start feeling emotionally distant, even when people are physically close. You may laugh with people, talk with people, spend time around people, but internally, there's still a wall. A part of you that never fully relaxes, never fully trusts, never fully arrives emotionally. And over time, that creates a quiet sadness that's difficult to explain. Because loneliness doesn't always come from being alone. Sometimes it comes from feeling unseen while surrounded by others. That's the paradox of extreme self-protection. It protects your heart from pain, but can also protect it from love, comfort, and connection. And eventually, survival mode stops feeling like survival. It just starts feeling empty. Some people stop trusting because they trusted too deeply. The people who struggle most with trust are not always emotionally cold people. Sometimes they're the opposite. Sometimes they are the people who once loved too deeply, trusted too fully, forgave too many times, stayed loyal long after they should have walked away. And when someone with a deep emotional capacity gets betrayed, the impact can be devastating. Because they don't experience connection casually. They feel it intensely. So when trust breaks, it doesn't just create disappointment. It changes the way they see people entirely. Especially if the betrayal came from someone they never expected. A close friend, a partner, a family member. Someone who made them feel emotionally safe before becoming the source of pain. That kind of experience creates confusion inside the nervous system. Because the brain starts asking, if even the people I trusted most could hurt me, then who is actually safe? And once that question settles deeply enough, emotional caution becomes automatic. This is why some of the most guarded people are also the most emotionally sincere underneath. They didn't become distant because they never cared. They became distant because they cared deeply, and it hurt more than they were prepared for.
Eventually, you start doubting yourself, too. Distrust rarely stays focused only on other people. Over time, it can start turning inward. At first, you question others, their intentions, their honesty, their consistency. But eventually, you begin questioning yourself, too. Am I overreacting? Am I imagining things? Can I even trust my own judgment anymore? And that internal confusion becomes exhausting. Because when someone has experienced repeated emotional disappointment, they often lose confidence in their ability to feel safe with people. So they become emotionally stuck between two fears. The fear of trusting the wrong person and the fear of pushing away the right one. That internal conflict creates emotional numbness over time. You stop reacting naturally. You suppress emotions before they fully surface. You become disconnected from your own vulnerability because vulnerability feels unsafe. And eventually, you may not even recognize yourself emotionally anymore. You just know you're tired of analyzing everything, tired of carrying emotional tension constantly, tired of feeling guarded even around people who care about you. But this is the part many people never realize. The goal was never to become cold. The goal was to stop getting hurt. And somewhere along the way, self-protection simply became stronger than connection.